Paris glows beneath a soft drizzle, lights reflecting off the wet streets. But not even the city of love can hide a broken heart. Belly thought she'd left the past behind in Cousin's Beach, but tonight, Paris has other plans. The camera glides slowly over the Paris skyline at dusk, the Eiffel Tower sparkling in the distance, soft piano music filling the silence. We see the streets shining after a fresh rain, cafes buzzing softly with laughter, and then a figure standing alone at a bridge. It's Conrad. His hands are tucked in his coat pockets, his eyes fixed on the dark water below. The glow of the streetlights flickers against his face, and even without words, you can see the weight of everything he's holding inside. The narrator's voice cuts through gently. It's strange, isn't it? How some places promise love, but end up giving you closure instead. Cut to Belly, wandering through narrow Paris lanes, a map in her hand she doesn't really look at. Her steps are slow, her mind miles away. She passes by couples laughing, friends taking photos, but she feels like a ghost among them. The wind catches her hair. And she remembers the sound of waves at Cousin's Beach, Conrad's laugh. That last summer night they spent together when everything still felt possible. The scene shifts. A brief flashback of them under fairy lights. His hand brushing hers, both pretending not to notice. Then, just as quickly, the memory fades. The sound of Paris returns, car horns, soft music, raindrops. Belly sighs as if trying to breathe out the past. Meanwhile, Conrad pulls a small envelope from his pocket. On it, the name Belly, written in neat handwriting. He looks at it for a long moment before tucking it back. The camera lingers on his face, regret, love, and something deeper, a goodbye he's not ready to say. The narrator continues softly. They say Paris is for lovers, but sometimes it's for the ones who never got to say goodbye. The music swells as the screen fades to black, with the faint sound of rain and a heartbeat echoing underneath, a quiet reminder that the past has followed them both here. And this city is about to reveal why. The next morning, Paris wakes to a soft golden light. The rain has stopped, but the streets still glisten as if the city remembers every tear that fell last night. Belly sits at a small cafe near the Seine, a croissant untouched on her plate, her gaze lost in the slow-moving water. The sound of the city hums around her, laughter, chatter, the clang of cups, but inside her, it's quiet. The kind of quiet that only heartbreak can leave behind. The narrator's voice drifts in softly. Sometimes, when you run away from your past, it doesn't chase you. It waits just long enough to meet you again in another city. As Belly stirs her coffee, the steam fogs her glasses. She blinks, and for a brief second, she thinks she sees him, that familiar figure across the street, Conrad, his dark coat. His posture, his way of standing like the world, weighs heavy on him. But when she looks again, he's gone. Just another stranger in Paris. She exhales, half relieved, half disappointed. Cut to Conrad walking along the same river, just a few streets away. His backpack hangs loosely on one shoulder, and he clutches that same envelope, still unopened, still unsent. Every step he takes seems uncertain, like he's not sure if he came here to find her or to finally let her go. The voiceover deepens. Conrad never believed in fate. But when he saw her name on the guest list for the Paris art program, something in him whispered, maybe this is your sign. We see flashes of him booking a last-minute flight, scribbling words on hotel stationery he can't bring himself to deliver. His hands tremble slightly as he rereads the letter. I never stopped caring. I just stopped knowing how to show it. Back at the cafe, Belly takes out her sketchbook, empty pages except for one drawing. It's a beach house, half finished, half forgotten. She traces the outline with her pencil, but stops midway, her eyes welling up. Then, in a quiet cinematic moment, the camera pans wide, showing both of them walking in opposite directions along the same riverbank. The distance between them is small, but the silence between them feels infinite. The narrator whispers, two hearts in one city, both pretending they've moved on. Both about to find out that love doesn't vanish, it waits, even in Paris. The screen fades slowly, the sound of footsteps echoing as if the city itself is holding its breath, waiting for their paths to collide. The night air in Paris carries a chill. But the city glows, streetlights shimmer on the Seine, and boats drift quietly beneath the bridges. Belly walks aimlessly, her camera in hand, snapping pictures she doesn't plan to keep. Each photo blurs, lights stretching into streaks, faces fading into motion. She lowers the camera and breathes deeply, trying to forget the face she's been imagining all day. But then she hears it, that low, familiar laugh. A sound that freezes her where she stands. She turns. Across the bridge, Conrad leans on the railing, looking out at the river. For a moment, she can't move. The city noise fades, leaving only the wind between them. Their eyes meet, hesitant, searching, fragile. Neither of them expected this, yet it feels inevitable, like the city itself conspired to bring them here. The narrator's voice cuts in softly. Some moments don't need planning. They just find you, even when you've spent all your strength trying to avoid them. Belly takes a step forward, then another, her heartbeat echoing in the quiet night. Conrad straightens, unsure whether to smile or apologize. When she finally stands before him, silence takes over. They don't speak, not yet. It's all in their eyes, the missed calls, the unspoken words. The letters never sent. Conrad finally breaks the silence, his voice low, almost trembling. I didn't come here to mess things up again. I just needed to see you. Belly blinks away the tears threatening to fall. You always find a way to show up when I finally start to forget. He exhales, his face softening. From his pocket, he pulls out a small silver charm, the one Belly lost 2 summers ago at Cousin's Beach. The tiny shell pendant catches the streetlight as he holds it out. I found it when I went back, he says quietly. I thought, maybe you'd want it back. Belly's lips part, but no words come. She reaches for it, her hand brushing his, and time seems to stop. The city continues around them, laughter from a distant cafe. The hum of cars, a violin playing somewhere nearby, but they stand still, trapped in the space between what was and what could have been. The narrator whispers, love doesn't always end with a fight. Sometimes it ends in a moment so quiet, you almost miss it. A single tear slips down Belly's cheek. Conrad watches her, then looks away, his eyes heavy with everything he can't say. He takes a step back, leaving the charm in her palm, and turns toward the bridge's end. Belly stands there, frozen, her heart breaking and healing all at once. The camera pans up, Paris lights flicker like stars reflected on the river, and their silhouettes fade slowly into the glow. The rain returns, not heavy, just a soft drizzle, like Paris itself is crying with her. Belly stands on the bridge long after Conrad has gone, clutching the silver charm in her hand. The streetlights blur through her tears, and every drop that falls feels like another memory slipping away. She looks down at the Seine. The water carries reflections of the city, and for the first time, she lets herself breathe out everything she's been holding in. The narrator's voice breaks the silence. Calm yet aching, sometimes love doesn't leave with noise. It leaves quietly, like rain that never meant to stay. Belly walks along the river, her steps slow but certain. The charm necklace glints faintly in her palm. She stops by a lamppost and fastens it around her neck again, not as a reminder of him, but of who she's become because of him. The soft piano music swells in the background as the camera lingers on her face, calm. Sad, but peaceful. Cut to Conrad walking down another street. His figure small against the golden glow of the Eiffel Tower, he pauses, glancing back as if he can still feel her there. His hand brushes against his coat pocket, empty now, lighter somehow. He smiles faintly, not out of joy, but acceptance. For the first time he knows it's really over, and maybe that's okay. The narrator continues, voice fading into the music. They both came to Paris searching for something, maybe forgiveness, maybe each other. But what they found was the courage to let go. The rain slows, turning into a mist that sparkles under the streetlights. Belly steps into a quiet square, where a street musician begins to play a soft tune on a violin. She stops to listen, eyes closing, the melody carrying her back through every summer, every sunset, every goodbye. Then she opens her eyes and smiles through the tears, small, real, the kind of smile that says, I'll be okay. A close-up of the charm, resting against her skin. The camera pans upward, following her as she walks away from the bridge. In the distance, the Eiffel Tower lights shimmer brighter, filling the frame. The final line drifts through the music like a whisper. Some love stories don't end because they failed. They end because they taught us how to begin again. The screen fades slowly to black. The rain fades. The music lingers. And then, one last shot, a Polaroid photo of Belly standing under the Eiffel Tower, smiling alone, pinned to a wall. Below it, written in Conrad's handwriting, "For Belly, Paris was always meant to find you." The music softens to silence. Fade out.